We wait. Can anyone tell me, like, oh, hey girl, hey.
Hey, how are you? What's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing
How's
a
your
little
day
bit.
going?
It's going really good. I'm out here, it's a sunny day. I'm actually currently in Florida. So this is
Oh,
change
how's
the
the weather?
scenery. Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm
Humid, but
jealous.
beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna rain here in Atlanta, which has been like that for the past couple of days. So,
I
but I'm gonna
know.
still get outside, girl, cause
Yeah.
okay.
After the year we've had, it's time to enjoy life. I mean, of course, safely,
Swear,
but we got to enjoy
but you gotta
life.
enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. You never know when that day is gonna be that day. So, why
Yeah.
not?
And you're looking fabulous. I'm loving
Thank
the
you.
look.
You are too. You are so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and jump in. I'm
Okay.
going to do a little intro here. So, hey everyone, I'm Sherry Williams. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a producer, writer, and on-air talent. I reside in Los Angeles, even though I'm in Florida right now.
Awesome.
And I currently work in TV production and have been in entertainment for years, from being on air at iHeartRadio in DC, covering entertainment
Cool.
news at E! News and CNN, to working
That's
on
what's
scripted
up.
shows like A Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO.
That's
So
awesome.
thank you, my love. And this is a new live series, so I'm happy that we could be kicking it off with you.
Cool.
That Film Plug is doing to one, showcase Black and POC creators in the film industry. And we will be meeting new creatives, supporting laughter, in which we're going to get into how you made us laugh in the recent project you were in, and educate and inspire the next gen of creators. This is the Hollywood Roundtable just for IG Live and Black creators. So once again,
Okay.
thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and so if the viewers right now don't know who Taylor Eve is, she's a dope actress, model. I mean, I don't even have to express how she's a model. Look at her right now. We'll just look at her. And writer and director. But
Yes.
I won't say more because we need to dig deep. But because I'm like, dang, I should have came up, slaying a little bit more today. You didn't give me the memo.
Listen, I mean, sometimes it really just be simple. I promise I didn't do too much. I just did my eyebrows, gotta make sure my lashes is always on. Just that's it. I promise it wasn't too much.
I
Because you
love
are
it. I
beautiful
love
the
it.
way you are, so you slaying too.
Thanks, honey.
Okay.
Okay, so about you, where are you from?
Well, originally I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I've lived in Atlanta for about 7 years now. I moved from Detroit. That's where I went to school, University of Detroit Mercy. It was on a track scholarship. Went to school really just to run track, honestly. I mean, school just wasn't for me, but I joined a sorority. I'm a Zeta. I lived that college life for sure. And then I was like, I want to live in Atlanta. And I graduated and left. And I knew this was going to be home. So
I love that. Are you still smoking people in these streets when it comes to running, or
listen,
never?
anybody who tried me out there, okay, just know. Okay, once fast, always fast. Okay, I'm just saying that. The
I
God
hear
gives the
that that
talent.
muscle memory is strong.
Seriously. Seriously.
Okay, all right. See, that's why she a model, y'all. See, okay, we get no more. So now, how was your upbringing? Because I know you mentioned, of course, school,
hmm
but how did your upbringing lead to your career in film?
I would honestly say my Nana always told me that I can be whoever I wanted to be. I can do whatever I wanted to do as long as I put my mind to it.
Mhm.
I've always was writing. I was writing when I was younger. That's when I had got into like the hood books where you had like Dirty to Game, Dirty Game and stuff like that. And I was just in class, just writing my own thing. And once I got to college, like I said, college life, you really don't know what you really want to do until you're there. you know and then once people kept coming to me, and that's when I realized, like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be truly. And I've always been a creative. It's always something in me, even if it's not my own. I'm always that person. Okay, what you want to do? This is what we're going to do. This is what you should do. Being that person that's a creative solution for people. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was really just keep your mind to it, and it's there.
yeah, and you made a really good point. The fact that when you get to school, when you get to college, you really don't know,
You
but it's
don't.
somehow you get like it guides you once you get inside,
Yes,
and it
yes.
may be the total opposite thing that you even went there for.
Swear, swear. And that's the thing. When I first went to school, I wanted to be a child psychologist. I still love the mind and children, but once I went to the classes, I was like, I'm not gonna lie. School was just wasn't my thing because I'm a creative. I learned that I love to learn by experience. It's easy for me to learn by hands-on experience at that. But I got my degree in English. Multimedia journalism was my minor with women's studies. So it was kind of like I knew, but at that point I was really focusing really on modeling because I always took pictures. It was always like my mom took my senior pictures. I was always in front of the camera. But once I came here and I was in, in films and I'm helping, with independent while I'm acting, I'm helping on set because I have that creative mindset, that creative direction. And once I did my first one, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write my first, at least a short film to see, if I got it. And people loved it. People read the script and they loved the script, and it felt good because I'm like, okay, now I'm in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And what people don't even realize, psychology really correlates with
It does,
writing, TV, and film.
because it's literally people watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So
Thank you.
now, how has Black culture influenced your career?
Well, people ask me why do I love Atlanta, and it's because of Black culture. Like, this is why I've always known this was going to be my home. Growing up, I went to an all-Black Christian school, so that was from the first grade to the fourth grade. So it was kind of like my subconscious was shifted differently than when I went to public schools where it was more diverse. And I seen certain things and the way people would move certain way I didn't quite understand because um, I was already instilled that self-worth. You know what I'm saying? As a child, I already understood, no, they shouldn't be doing that, shouldn't be treating us this way. So when I came down here and I'm looking at, film, I'm honestly going to say that when it comes to our culture in film and TV, it's not really authentic like it used to be. And that's what I really want to get back to. Like, I really am on that like 90s sitcom, Martin and Living Single, where you felt like you was in the living room with Martin when he told you to get out.
Right.
Like, oh, I know it's time for me to get out. So that's where with Deuces Wild, when I wrote that, it was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, couples game night, the spades game is a must in the Black community for sure. If you don't know how to play, you can't get on the table type of thing. And it was there. So it's strong influence all the way around.
Yeah, and that's what I got from Deuces Wild as well. But before we get into that, because I know we're gonna talk about that more. Did you always know you wanted to act and direct? Because I know we touched on, your past, but did you always kind of feel that fire within inside?
I would say yes. I've always been I wouldn't say drama queen, but maybe so. I was my family always said I was the goofy, silly kid. I did plays when I was in elementary school, but it wasn't necessarily like this is what I want to do, because track was
Yeah.
always what I wanted to do. I started running track when I was 7. I thought I was going to be the fastest woman in the world. Like, that was it for me. Like, but then once injuries happen, then reality starts to really hit. So, but it was just in me to just be that, like, when I'm in front of the camera, when I'm modeling, it's the same thing for me. I'm playing a part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm sitting in front of people in customer service, I'm playing a part. So it was just really always the same thing for me.
Yeah, I love that. Even when you mention customer service, people don't understand. Like, you need to carry that within everything that you do, because you really don't
Everything.
understand. Life is a boot camp that really gets you prepared for today, no matter how
Facts.
big or small that
I like
opportunity
that.
is. Oh, thanks,
Yes.
girl. Okay, so now, what struggles do you feel like you faced being a Black woman in this like white male dominated industry?
I wouldn't even necessarily say with it being a white male dominated. I would really just say with it being a male dominated. And I would just say that because being a beautiful woman, you get looked at a certain way, or it's like you're not really taken as serious. And then when you try to be strong and, now you're too masculine, so it's like trying to find that perfect balance, really, where you're assertive enough to make your presence be known, but to not come off like you're a slime or you know, like you're stuck up or something like that. Just knowing that, okay, I'm here to help and I need you to turn to me so I can help you. I don't want to insert myself when it's not needed. I don't know when I'm supposed to be inserting myself. So that's really the biggest. It's really just finding that balance to where it's like, I'm here now, listen, but I'm not saying it like that, but I mean, I'm here.
Right.
So, you know.
Now, if you had to ask, I mean, not ask, but kind of put out a little PSA for the males in the industry saying like, okay, this is how I am. Like, what would be like kind of like your little PSA to them to kind of like shift the industry if you could do that?
I would say the PSA would be just listen. We multitask as women, so we see a lot more perspectives as women. So trust our insight. You get what I'm saying? Trust it,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, you can. It's not. It's there's no such thing as too much.
Yeah.
The more options you have, the more creative solutions you have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
See, I hear that. So, okay, we know you're from the film The Game is Dirty,
Hmm.
and you just wrote it and directed the comedy Deuce is Wild.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How did you prepare to act in a dramatic film versus a comedic film? Because that's like two whole different things, and everyone doesn't have the talent. Some people get typecasted and stay in one place, but you
Right.
divided yourself. So tell us more about that.
See, I always think I'm like a comedic in my everyday life sometimes. You know, I talk a little shit sometimes, but to me it's funny, or people around me they laugh. So it's like kicks and giggles. So when I actually cast it for Deuces Wild, I wanted people who are naturally funny. Like I said, I'm trying to bring back that authenticity. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
authenticity is not necessarily acting classes. It's this is your day to day. This is how you act during day to day. And I can see and feel the authenticity when you're giving me the lines. And some of it really was off book because I really wanted them to be authentic. I wanted, you know, this is the basis of the script, but be yourself, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
me included. It was, I guess, because I already knew what it looked like. Because when I write in the eye of the director, so I already see the end result. I already see it completely how we're supposed to be as far as angles and how we're supposed to move. So it was like feet, you know, just kicking it with friends. Like this is what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Yeah.
So kicking it with friends, which one did you have more fun doing? Hard one,
Yeah.
huh?
I don't know. You see, kicking it with you saying kicking it with friends or
Like since you
as opposed to
mentioned,
what?
it felt like kicking it with friends. So now
Okay.
comparing both, which one did you have more fun doing? Was the one whereas the Deuces Wild being more, like you were kicking with friends, was that more fun to you? Or do you feel like, hey, it's even 50-50? I felt like both was just as fun.
I think that's like going to be the method that I want to use when I'm shooting all of my films. Is I
Hmm.
wanted to feel like we're kicking it with friends. Even
Okay.
in a horror film, you know, I wanted
Hmm.
to really feel like y'all we in a cabin trip right now, you know what I'm saying? Oh shoot, is somebody there? Like you feel me? Like I wanted to feel like it's a family because
Hmm.
that's what really makes it easy for the chemistry to be there, you know. And when it came to the just that short film, it was like we all really met up. But everyone else, I pretty much knew everyone. Everyone didn't even really know each other, so it was cool to give that little time in before. Not
Hmm.
really a table read, but more like a shits and giggles. Like, okay, let's
Yeah.
clown with each other, you know, because I want that to show on screen. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it
Yes.
was yeah, I prefer that way. I prefer
Okay.
for me to just be kicking, you know, because then it loosens everybody up.
Yeah.
Might take a little longer because now everybody wants to play around, but as long as people can find the balance, then I think
Hmm.
it'll be perfect.
Okay, and now going into your writing, what's your
Okay.
advice? Like, if even if it's just like one major point, two major points, what's your advice to those other writers out there?
Ah, just put it on paper. Because
Mm.
there's so many people that come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to write a film, I want to write a film, but I don't know how to write. And I'm like, well, you got it in your mind, right? Then you know how to write.
Yeah,
You
but
know how
now
to
with
write.
that, do you like? do it in a certain place, like outdoors, inside? Do you have any inspirational place where you do this at? Your thought process?
Honestly, it depends on my mood. I
Okay.
found a lot, like I was also in a short film called The Box, which is located on my page. That was written by Sarah Chantel, and it was produced by Courtney Giselle. So I wrote the second series to that,
Mm-hmm.
the sequel to it. And for that one, I wrote that 16 pages, and I wrote it in like maybe 6 hours. And I sat at the bar.
Wow.
I had me a
Oh,
drink. We was,
okay.
you know, they was having a good time. The atmosphere was
Mm-hmm.
good. It's like as long as I'm around good energy, that's when it's just gonna flow. Because
Yeah.
this is just for me anyway. Because it's like once I'm there and I'm locked in, it 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 just spills over. It just spills over. Even when I have a moment, okay, let me stop. Let me eat something real quick. But then I'll read the last line and I'll pick up right back from it. Because like I said, once you know the storyline, to me, it's kind of easier to flow with it. Then you just put the
Yeah.
characters and say what they want to say, what you would think
Yeah.
they would say in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one good takeaway for everybody here is, like you said, put that on paper, because
Hmm.
when you don't, you don't. But just put it out
Right,
there and then let the rest flow.
right,
I
right.
love that. Okay,
Exactly.
so now shifting to another gear,
Okay.
your role in the game is dirty.
Okay.
How did you get that role?
Ah, now that specific role was very interesting because they had someone else for it. That was,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they just stopped coming, and then they reached out to me, and I was like, okay, and that was really only supposed to be a short film, and then something happened within the casting, so we had to write a longer script to make it longer, so that's why it's a full feature, and it was like it was at first it was like, okay, I'm coming to set, but it was beforehand. We had a table read where I get to meet everybody, and it was a family oriented. But that's me. That's just my vibe. Like that's my like I like for people to be comfortable. I don't like to be uncomfortable because when you're uncomfortable, you can feel it, and then it
Mm-hmm.
shifts conversations. And that's not how it should be when especially when you're creating. Okay, it needs to be wide open so everything can flow naturally. So once we had the first meetup and I shot, the first couple scenes, it was like a family. Like it was like a family. So then it was easier for me to play those different parts. It was easier for me, to get crazy and get creative with my different switch up on my styles. So it was fun. It was real fun.
Okay, invite me to the set next time. I'm gonna have fun.
Okay, come on, girl. Come on. Look, you need to come out.
Okay,
Let me go to LA with you. Okay, I'm trying to come out there, sis. Okay.
my door is open. Please, please come. Now we need some more advice because you've been dropping gems today. So I
Oh,
would
thank
like to
you.
get some advice for getting into independent films for actors.
For actors, I would
Hmm.
say Facebook is your best friend. There's a lot of independent filmmakers that go to Facebook for castings. And honestly, if you know some friends, create a film. I mean, at this point in this day and age, we can do whatever we want to do. You can produce whatever you want to do, like literally.
Right.
So, and my biggest advice for actors: don't wait to be in anybody's stuff. Create your own.
Mm.
Skits, if you want to do skits here and there, but sometimes skits can be, it can run over. You can only do so much with skits because you can't really tell a true story. If you're an actor, you really want to tell a story, pick up short film, less than 40 minutes. The
Right.
box was only 8 minutes. It was four of us. We had a nice grand scheme of a whole storyline in 8 minutes. So it's just really big. But like I said, if you don't want to do all of that, Facebook, or
Yeah.
even Instagram, reach out to casting directors, different things of that nature really helps. And acting classes, go to acting classes, because then you'll find other actors that's on the same type of time as you, and then
Right.
they might even be writing something, hey, let's work together, so it's really about consciously trying to stay busy, even if it's not on the industry type, the main
Mhm.
industry type of level, because the independent word, it's really coming up. It's once it's just quality and location. That's really all that separates it.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all hear that? Go into find your Facebook groups. Go out there, connect with people. Cause staying in the house and wishing and hoping ain't gonna get you anywhere.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's talk about, we're going to dig deeper here. Did you already know you would play Erica's character
Oh yeah.
in Deuces Wild?
Oh yeah. Anything I write, I'm probably gonna play in it, unless it's someone who comes to me and they want me to write for them. Anything that I write, it's gonna be me. Like I'm in a way trying to be like an Adam Sandler's of today.
Okay. Respect that.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to what we were just talking about. You're like, hey, you want to be in stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You write it.
Exactly. And then you can play your own character, your own roles, or, like, but some people don't have the vision. Some people really just want to be an actor, like, because it really takes a filmmaker and a writer you have to be a real visionary to really find people. Because when I do my scripts, I have a vision of how I want people to look. When I'm people watching, I'm like, dang, like I'm going to put them in a film and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promise I will probably never find anyone like you. I don't want to duplicate you right now. I want you, type of thing.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And how long did it take you to write that script for Deuces Wild?
Oh man, Deuces Wild was about a week, and it was like I had the concept and everything, but it was my baby. It was my first one, so I'm like, okay, I really want it to be perfect. I really wanted to, I really want it to work. I really want these actors to be in it because I feel like that it will go perfect. So it was excellent.
And then the punchlines, because I know there was a lot of funny moments in there. I personally enjoyed kind of like that Martin and Gina feel, especially in the beginning when you were on the table. And it's just like that was cute. So when it comes to the
Yes,
punchlines,
thank
were they
you.
kind of like sporadic or just like improv, or were they already set in the script?
A little bit of both. A little bit of setting the script already, because I grew up with people talking mess to each other. So and I know comedians that that's what they do while they sit down. Like, you don't need to be filming nothing over there. Y'all need to be filming here, because that's how y'all jonesing on each other all day. So,
Yeah.
but once we got on set, the Choco Bryant, the guy who actually played Claude, he is a comedian. So I told him to have fun. Because, he's a stand-up comedian. So I'm like, go ahead and have fun. Your punchlines, whatever you want to say, go ahead and say it. I don't mind. Go ahead. Have fun. Because then that gives me something where I can be punchy, or, their interactions, a lot of it really was off book, because I wanted them to
Yeah.
have fun with it. Like, I wanted it to feel like we having a couples game night and we about to
Yeah.
win spades and y'all not about to win nothing.
Yeah, the one that got me was when he said, if I smack in the back of your head, would your eyes get stuck? That part had me done. I'm like, where did he even get this from?
Well, they get stuck. Come on now. And she's like,
That
I'm
was
gonna shoot you.
hilarious.
Like, it was the chemistry was A1. That's really what
Hmm.
I love the most, is that the chemistry was really A1.
Yeah, and as far as like casting the rest of the group, were those people you already knew, or how did that work out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because really the first one, I really wanted it to be out there. Like, I didn't want to procrastinate any longer. There were
Hmm.
people, I knew them personally, so I knew what they were going to deliver. I don't want acting school. I wanted authenticity. So I want this to be truly you. I want you to feel like, okay, you about to rob us, and how are you going to act if you were to rob us? Type of feel. So, and then everybody else didn't know each other. I was the only one who knew everyone. And then when I brought them together before we actually filmed, I could really feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
cool.
so, did you have a table read with them?
Right before.
Right.
It was,
Oh, wow.
literally right before. It was literally right before. Because,
So
like,
that was genuine.
like I said, because they were already actors, so they already knew what to do. But I wanted it to be fresh. I wanted it to be new.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't know the script, I don't want you to be scripty. I want you to be like, oh, I don't know what's next, so I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to be doing in this moment. If I
Yeah.
was at the spades game and, so
Yeah.
it was good. It worked out.
Okay, so that genuine comedic take. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you walk me through the process of bringing it to screens, like as for as an indie film?
Whew. Man, so the editing process was pretty much the longest for me. And that's because I was really hands on with the editing. Shout out to Keenan. He definitely, he's a videographer. He took me in and he understood that this is my baby and everything that I need to change, I need to change.
Yeah.
I need this part to go here, because I already seen the vision when I wrote it, so it was like, it
Yeah.
has to be this way or not. This isn't going to be the same as my vision. So the editing was particular. Then after I got the editing, as far as the clips done, it was the music and the scoring
Yeah.
for me. A lot of it, I did use indie artists. A couple are from Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nova, who did he wrote and he produced the scoring for The Game Is Dirty. He also included some music for me to use. That's really, to me, that's when I feel like that's what makes the film, is the
Yeah.
scoring and the
Yeah.
sounds and the way you place them. And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, okay, wait, we ain't done yet. I need
Yeah.
something right here, and now I need something right here. Like, oh, okay, now it sounds like it's supposed to be a comedy, So
Yeah.
that's really what it was for me.
The most discouraging part is always the budget a lot of times. So what
Yeah.
was that like for you?
Well, it was mine, so I made it happen. I mean, little I don't know, little goes a long way when you have people who really support your dreams, and
Mm,
that's the thing that we can't get discouraged about budgets, because now we have a phone, we can record, we can shoot a film on our phone, as an indie, as a new upcoming, sometimes you have to just take what you got to make what you're trying to get.
right, right.
Sometimes it does happen that way, and the recognition goes a long way. So I was blessed with Keenan, who is a great videographer, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I mean, I handled everything else on my own. So it was a lot of collaborations. It was a lot of people who really support the dream, and it takes a team. It
Yeah.
definitely takes a team, for sure.
Okay, so we've gotten to know a lot about you as far
Hmm.
as the process. And we've gotten a lot of gems as well, a lot of information
Hmm.
as far as like the process of creating your own film and the indie process. But let's get to know more about you now.
Okay.
And we're going to do like a fast round. So don't
Yeah.
feel no
Okay.
pressure, okay?
Okay.
It's nothing too crazy.
Okay.
All right. Now, switching gears because we know you're an actress and a
Okay.
producer and a writer and all that good stuff, but you're also a model.
Yes.
So we're going to play a quick game with models
Okay.
turned actresses or actors.
Okay.
All right. So, who would you rather go to a lunch date or a lunch with? Would it be Tyra Banks,
Mm,
Tyrese, Tyson
mm.
Beckford, or Eva Marcel?
I would definitely say even Marcel. Cause she a real one.
Hmm.
Cause we can sit there, we can kick it, you don't feel no pressure. Like Tyra, I feel like I'll have to be still, like, smiles and I'll be like, okay. But Eva, she gives me that spunk that we can laugh, and it's a great time. So I mean, the men, they're all fine, until you say Eva, I'm like, Tyson Beckford,
Yeah,
but definitely,
you try and kick it
definitely.
with the home girl.
Okay, why not? Get some real good
Yeah,
gems. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Okay. Who do you think would be a great writer in your writers' room? Tracy Ellis Ross, Naomi Campbell, Chanel Iman, or Jamon Hansu?
Hmm. I like Tracy Ellis Ross. And I would say that because I follow her in real life. So it's
Mm,
the authenticity for me that I feel like she would really truly bring. Like, and I feel like she lived through her mother as well. So it's like she has
mhm.
another side of spunk that she could bring to the table, a whole different like insight of the world, just
Yeah,
from a femininity type of aspect as well too. So I think that would be dope.
right. Especially
Yes.
with her background, my girlfriend.
Okay, because that was the show. I'm not gonna lie.
It was.
It
All right.
was.
So, who do you feel you would learn from most and why? Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell, Cynthia Bailey, or Tracy Ellis Ross? And we kind of just talked about it a little bit, but let's see if it switches up your answer.
Right. Hmm. I'm gonna say the only reason I'm gonna say Tracy Ellis Ross again is because of, I mean, the model world is different because it's just, I wouldn't say I don't care too much to know, but I'm a 5'2", model brand, with brands. Like, that's my focus, is really being that muse for them. Like, to really
Mhm.
bringing their brand to, like, I just got it. So use me. That's the focus isn't even on me. So, but with Tracy, I feel like she would just literally just be putting me, schooling me on game about everything.
Mhm.
Like, it would be open to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with it. Now, for your writing, what is one
Hmm.
question you would ask each of these writers? So, for the first one, Lena Waithe.
Okay. Remind me what she wrote. I'm sorry.
She did. She 20s. Have you seen 20s yet?
Mm-mm. I'm
But
not real.
it's but
I'm not,
it's
for me to be a I'm not gonna lie. For me to be a filmmaker, I'm really not into watching TV,
yeah. No,
and that's
I've
because
heard
I
that.
want to keep it so fresh. I don't want no
Hmm.
one to say, "Oh, you copied off of this or you copied off of that." Like, nah. Everything I'm learning is from the outside world, from people. What
Yeah.
people tell me, that's what I'm writing. From what experiences that I'm having, these are literally going into each different films that I have,
Yeah.
or like, that's because it's so. Because I'm not, I don't want to say I'm a fan of people's work. I'm a fan of people, So
Yeah.
once I meet the people, then I'm like, oh, I see why I
Yeah.
enjoy you. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I would say then, what would you ask? Like for her, she's done more like she was in Master of None, and
Okay.
so she tends to like tell stories, especially with the lesbian perspective and minority
Okay.
perspective. So like for a person that has had those experiences and kind of write out those experiences, would you have a question for anyone that's produced things along those lines?
My biggest thing probably would be the mindset. Like,
Okay.
what mindset, like, what separates their mindset as far as being, on a lesbian? I mean, I know the minority mindset, but in the LGBTQ community, their mindset as opposed to a straight person's mindset. You know what I mean? Like, is the mindset really different? Do you really
Hmm.
move different? Because then I need to learn their mannerisms. You know what I mean? Like, I need
Yeah.
to know, if I don't find someone that is a part of that community, I will have to put someone else into that position, and they will need to know what the mindset is, like how they will move.
Mm. Yeah, that's real.
Okay.
That's real. Because a lot of times when you don't come from that angle or that perspective, it's a fine line to walk on because you don't want to be the person that offends.
Right.
So that's real. That's a real
Right.
good takeaway from her. Well, what about Issa Rae? What would you ask her?
I would ask her, when she wrote Insecure, was it based off, I mean, granted, I'm sure it was probably based off her own personal experiences, but does it carry on to the next? Like, is that what her, like how I want my um projects, everything that I write, to be from my experiences or people from around me whose experiences that I can play off of? Is that for her? Like,
Yeah.
is that how she's gonna write? Because Insecure to me was authentic. I felt them. Is that how she wants all of her projects to be?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, guys, this that's all we have for today. It was amazing speaking with you, Miss Taylor
Okay,
Eve. And thank you
thank
so much
you.
for rocking with us. Is there anything else
Yes.
you would like to like give us today, or let us know what you're about to do, or anything? This is your floor.
Well, yes, y'all. Make sure you guys follow me at TaylorEve the Creator. Also, follow The World of Vibes. That is my creative enterprise. That's where all of my films, short films, commercials. If you're a brand, come holla at me. I definitely am doing content creation as well for small businesses, because that's what we're in now. It's not about a photo shoot. It's about what you're going to put on your Instagram. You need people that's eating your food. I got you. You need someone putting on some glasses? I got you. You know, so those little things that we need to start thinking about when it comes to being a business as opposed to a hustle. I got you. So yeah, so The World of Vibes, Deuces Wild is out right now. It's on Instagram, IGTV, The World of Vibes, and YouTube, The World of Vibes. Check me out, y'all. More and more and more and more is to come. If you want to be in the film, hit me up at The World of Eyes. If you want to go ahead and cash out me some help with the productions, you know, the budget is wide open, man. You know, invest in me and I got you. I promise. I got you. Okay? But
I
yep, that's
love
it.
it. I love you. Well, y'all look out for more lives. Once again, thank you, Taylor Eve.
Yes,
And look,
thank you.
we're
So,
going to be doing this again.
oh, facts.
All
I'm
right.
come out to LA too, girl. Don't forget,
Look,
I'm gonna come out to you. I'm gonna hit you up.
we here. I mean, why not just we might as well come and shoot a little short
Got
film
you.
or something. You know
So,
what I'm saying?
hey y'all, remember? Hey, when we drop it, y'all better watch it.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, y'all, and talk to y'all
Thank
soon.
y'all. Have a
Bye.
great day. Peace out.